welcome to Starseed Oracle. Thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me today for this reading we're about to do. I have been doing so many readings about really big transits and also really like deep transits and kind of heavy energy. So I thought it might be kind of interesting to just simply come at the reading today to just focus on heartfelt messages. Venus and Mercury just made their conjunction in the sky yesterday, the day before I was reading, and that energy is still very present. We just entered Taurus season. My roses just started blooming again, and I am so into just wanting to share some love because I think we've all been through the ringer. Eclipse season just ended, and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is happening this evening. There's just so much big energy, and I think we could all use as many, loving messages and guidance as possible right now. So also I think I got really inspired by the Venus and Mercury coming together. I totally last night decided on a whim to create my own oracle deck. So that's what these cards actually are. It's just like a message deck. And I'm really excited to have this as part of the reading today. So I hope y'all really enjoy that piece. And I will definitely be featuring it more in these readings. It's really cool because it's like creating your own symbolic language. I highly suggest it for anyone who's a reader. If you haven't tried this before, I have no idea why I've never done this before. I'm super into it so far and been really into the messages coming through. Yeah, but let's just get right into it. I'll hold these little shells up so you can see what we've got here. So for pile one, I've got this little and then pile two. And pile three. So go ahead to pick whatever pile or piles are calling to you. Pause the video if you need another moment. And if not, I will see you in your reading. Bye. Hey, group one. Y'all chose this sweet little shell here. Kind of keep it over here, I guess. And this deck of cards. So today we're just looking at the messages from Venus, the Venus and Mercury conjunction, and kind of what these planets what loving messages these planets want to bring forth. Just really the heartfelt message that you really need to hear most. So these I was intending to give a little bit of context, and then I'm gonna pull some tarot and then an oracle at the end. So we have Where Waters Converge, Intrusive Thoughts, Dream Time, and Do You Know How Old We Are? So I'm going to set these up on the edges here. So I'll just get right into it. This Do You Know How Old We Are card, I wrote intending to speak to the way the inner parts of us, when they come forward, it can be really incredible just to ask them if they know how old you are in the present moment, because often our inner children don't actually know, and so when they hear that information and understand that there's an adult part of you now, that you are actually a full adult and have other things going on in your life, that you're not stuck perhaps in some difficult story or moment or situation, it gives them a lot of more new freedom and actually feel protected when they felt like they had to be the protector, all sorts of things. And I feel like with all of these other cards coming through, that this also might have to do intrusive thoughts. This I think goes you know, along with this idea, because often it is these parts of us, like these younger parts of ourselves that come through, bringing forward intrusive thoughts because they're trying to protect us. And so with these two coming out together, this is all giving me context. So then when we draw the cards, it's going to pull forward more of like the loving messages here. So just keep that in mind. So I think that like these two coming out together are saying like maybe you've been experiencing intrusive thoughts, or just like having a lot of these like past like narratives maybe, or just past experiences coming forward in your mind again that are kind of like putting you into these places where you're having like repetitive cyclical thoughts, or just falling into certain patterns of thinking. And these two make me really feel like there's a lot of inner child stuff happening in your life perhaps right now, which would make sense also. Like this is a Mercury is retrograde right now, so like this conjunction between Venus, and it's a conjunction between Venus and Mercury retrograde. So the fact that we have kind of this like past energy showing up makes sense to me. And with dream time, like maybe this is happening in your actual dreams. Maybe things are showing up or trying to bring you messages forward through your dreaming life. And really in service, this Where Waters Converge is about integration. It's about two things that have been apart on their own separate journey coming together. And in this context, to me, this is saying, you know, the waters of your past self coming to meet finally like who you are today, and they're kind of just needing to be this like this overlapping and merging together of those, where each one is recognizing the other, and then allowing it to be completely merged together as one, so that healing can occur. Like this is a card about healing to me as well, whether it's healing in relationship or just healing in the internal sphere, in the internal world. So let me go ahead and draw some cards, and feel free to fast forward if you don't like the shuffling. And so we're just asking Venus and Mercury, what heartfelt message does group one really need most right now regarding what we just spoke of? What heartfelt message needs to come forward for the collective watching pile one? just having to cover up. Have a cover-up situation here. Okay. So we have 2 of Cups, and then this is the King of Wands, I think, in this deck. Yeah, that's right. All right, and I'm going to clarify with this deck. And those 2 of Cups did come out with the 5 of Pentacles, so I'm just saying that out loud so I don't forget. But I didn't feel like putting it on the table, so I didn't pick it. Oh, okay. Okay, so right away we have this 8 of Swords over the 2 of Cups, and I did say that the 5 of Pentacles came out too, so I feel like maybe there has been a lot of loss or worry around having a partner, around having a real deep, beautiful, passionate, loving experiences for you. And I also feel like whatever has gone on in that realm has brought you into this place of deep contemplation, of deep strength, of becoming a mentor in some way in your life. You know, this is King of Wands energy, so there is that kind of like spiritual visionary aspect to it. And we don't get to those places until, you know, we face the intrusive thoughts, until we explore every aspect of who we are with a lot of fearlessness and for strength to be showing up. And I just like, come on, the little rose in the mouth. It's like there is meaning to this journey. And I think to me that's so much about what this is pointing through. And I just heard like to trust that these swords will be gone by the time that you are ready to like blossom, ready to spread your wings here. And that also it is just your mind, like that they're not actually here. And also mind is all, mind is the thing that creates our experience. So in that sense, they are very real. So I honor that too. But I think what really, yeah, like the heartfelt kind of thing behind this that wants to come through Venus and Mercury today is just like to hold that sense of belief and knowing that this journey has been for a significant reason and for some greater part of your higher path. That whatever loss you've experienced, that's not how it has to be forever, but like that there's meaning in there's meaning in that, you know? It's not like nothing is in vain here. And it's essentially actually pulling you into being a better partner, being a better, being better for your own self, for your own inner child. I think actually, whatever this connection coming through, where there's loss around it, maybe there was like very deep inner child connecting points between you, or just like, you know, processing childhood wounding, or feeling really open to speak about that and feeling really held in that. And to lose something like that type of connection, I think, can pull us into difficult places. Like, it's just, it sends us on a whole, catapults us in a whole other journey. The two of cups can be like a soulmate card. So if you resonate with that word, you know, it could be like really deep connections. And so I just feel like you've been on a journey. You really have. And this, yeah, I mean, my other definition, like I was bringing this up, the where waters converge, as like the different parts of self coming together and wanting to merge together, but it also to me is about relational convergence. Like when we have people who we have so much resonance with, that it's like these waters coming together. And for this to come up too, like it makes me feel like maybe in your dreams you've been like having significant dreams about people who either are no longer in your life, or maybe you don't even know them yet. This could also be like the ache of just wanting that, or feeling the energy of someone who you haven't met yet, but just know is like you're meant to have this kind of experience with. I kind of want to pull one more of these cards. Let me just get one more card here. What else can we get here for this message? Oh, wow, okay. Yeah. Okay, because I was like, this felt a bit like... Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so the Four of Wands with this Knight of Cups, that's really beautiful. That makes me feel like the loving message that really wants to come through is like, yes, there will be offerings of love coming into your sphere, and not to give up hope on that, not to give up hope of having this kind of beautiful Two of Cups, this like equal give and take, mutually beneficial romantic situation. So I just, yeah, this feels like the message coming through is for sure that like that experience is meant for you, you know, like if you desire that experience, it's meant for you. And the fact that you've had loss here is not, it actually was like preparing you for this to come through, because Four of Wands is absolutely like the, you know, ideal beautiful home, family, like just having that deeply secure, beautiful love. That feels highly spiritual as well. Like both the Two of Cups and the Four of Wands are very spiritual love cards to me, or like higher love, you know? And so I think like the message just feels really clear that like this is still on the horizon for you, you know? Like this is gonna come in. Like you're not, like, just because you've had that situation, it's not even like just because, it's like literally this was meaningful in helping you work through these intrusive thoughts, like helping you work through some inner child stuff, bringing you to a place of deeper spiritual connection with yourself, with your higher self, with the divine. There's just an unfolding here that has happened for you in your life that really is calling forward this beautiful partnership, which I feel like that's what this reading is pointing to. And I was a little confused at first because so much of this felt like very much about inner child, but I think what's actually coming through is like whatever happened in the loss, it did pull you into a place, or it has, like wherever you are on this journey, like this situation clearly brought you into an experience of having to go very, very internal and understand more deeply different parts of your younger selves that are still kind of acting through you, having to, just take, like, even allow your belief systems to change, just creating an opening within your heart through pain, like through loss. And that's can be really intense. And then when you get on the other side of it and you realize the strength you have, the wisdom you have, and the fact that like this greater or just more grounded, rooted, stable, deeply connecting, like we meet people where we are, right? And these connections that open us up to that massive level can be so scary if we're not prepared for it, and just kind of like be really triggering. And that can cause a lot of disruption and even a need for endings there, because neither of you are ready. But it's like that opening, that triggering that happens, like pulls you into the work that you are meant to be doing in this life. And there's so much significance and meaning in that. So I hope that you find ways to really honor that and honor whoever this person was. And to know that like this experience, like I said, is still like really coming for you, because it feels like you have done the work, like that you are this in this mentor King of Wands energy, and you are like the key in the sky, like the key to your heart is what I was just hearing. Like whoever holds the key to your heart, I think you hold the key to theirs too. I'm just gonna say that. Whether you know who that person is right now or you don't, you'll know. If this reading's resonating, you'll understand. But it just feels like it, yeah, like that. Please continue to hold in this hopeful state. And like this person is just glowing. Like I think like a deep part of you understands the significance of whatever it is that you've been through in love and in opening your heart to that in this lifetime. And yeah, the message is really to honor yourself and how far you've come here. Like this strength card, I'm always like feeling it's such an offering of love at the same time because of the like rose in the lion's mouth. And it's like, yeah, the rose with the thorns, the sweetness of life can only be experienced when we have to go so far in the opposite direction, right? And experience the contrast to that. So yeah, I'm gonna pull an oracle card as like final message here, or maybe some guidance. We'll see what it feels like here. Keeping that this reading is very open. Okay, so what does group 1 messages of love from Venus and Mercury does group 1 need? have the cracked open card. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Yeah, you've been through it. And this just feels so much like the fragmentation. That's the word I'm looking for. The fragmentation that we all go through coming into human form, forgetting who we are as divine beings, forgetting our capacity to love and to be loved, the events in our life that push us onto this path of letting ourselves be cracked to that point that our heart does like have to surrender, that when we do surrender and begin to allow ourselves to receive higher love. Because I think very few people, I don't even think it's possible, honestly. Like, if we haven't gone through this kind of like process, I don't know if people are born just being able to experience and to receive or to give unconditional love. I just don't see it now, at least not like in this, at this time period. Maybe in some other time periods that's the case, but like this love and this way of being cracked open from loss and just deep, deep heartache and the longing and all of it, like it just feels like it has created such a profound remembering of yourself as this divine being, and the opportunity to create alchemization around that, to bring yourself back together. All of these parts that I was talking about at the beginning of like, do you know how old we are? Like remembering on all levels, not just like how old you are in this moment, in this physical time period, but literally reminding yourself, like, do you remember that we're like infinite, we're part of source. And I think that these loving messages is just like, this is just about reminding you. Maybe you just needed that confirmation to see a reading like this, that like whatever journey you've been on with love, if this is resonating, then like, yeah, like it's real and it's deeply significant and a huge part of you growing and becoming more of your higher self in this lifetime, allowing more of it to come through, because you are like converging, your waters are converging together, and through that experience also in partnership that brought you to that place, like it's part of it. So I just heard too to like pay attention in your dream time if there are more messages that want to come through related to this, that might be significant. Something significant happening, especially with the Jupiter Uranus. If you're watching this at the time that I recorded, that energy is flowing through really until July of 2024, and that's like, that can really bring some interesting spontaneous shifts and messages, I think. So yeah, maybe pay attention to that. And it's Mercury retrograde still. So anything is possible, really, in that sense. So I think I'm going to leave it there, group 1. I'm sending a lot of love towards you and your heart, and I hope that this was a little bit of a healing balm in a way, if not just confirmation or recognition of whatever it is you're going through. And yeah, thank you for watching this. If you like this reading, I would love for you to subscribe. I've been posting every Sunday, and I try to focus on a different planetary alignment. I'm an astrologer, and that's my main thing that I do. So this is just a really fun way for me to share more intuitively and creatively any messages from the planets. So if you liked this, yeah, please subscribe so you can keep up to date with more readings. And hopefully, yeah, I'll see you in another one. Thanks, y'all. Bye. Hello, group 2. Y'all chose this little spirally shell here, and I'll set this over to the side. And this deck of cards. So today we're looking at the heartfelt messages that you need to hear most at this time. Messages from Venus and Mercury, who just are having their conjunction in Aries right now in the sky. So this little stack, this is my own little oracle deck I just made, and these are kind of meant to be context, and then we're going to draw some tarot and an oracle card at the end too. It's very open. This reading I didn't have specific questions aside from the main one, so we're just gonna go with it and see what wants to come through. So for these, we've got Love Brave, Paradigm Shift, Lean on Me, and Trine. Okay, so for context, this is giving me the sense that you may be going through a massive paradigm shift when it comes to love right now. When it comes to what kind of love you think you, I hate saying deserve, but maybe that's the framework that you're looking at it through. What level of love you're actually able to fully let yourself receive, or maybe what you believe that you have to offer. Like, this is totally radically shifting somehow. And it's really being guided by like higher forces too. This Lean on Me card is, for me, this is my higher guidance, my, guides, ancestors. Like, it really is like that. Whoever is not in the physical, but offering support and guidance in your life. And trine, this is the trine from astrology, so the actual aspect of a trine between two planets, and it signals like a flowing harmonious energy. So I think you have like a lot of higher support and spiritual support while you're going through this paradigm shift, whether or not it feels like that. You'll know your own story there, but it does really seem like you're going through this massive overhaul, of just like what you believed you could experience in terms of love, how open you believed your heart could even be, and that's really beautiful. So I'm going to draw a few cards here, and just to get more specifics about what messages, heartfelt messages for pile 2, the collective watching pile 2, related to this context that we just spoke about. So feel free to fast forward if you don't like the shuffling. If not, enjoy. take this one into account that this came out. This is the King of Pentacles. But we're actually going to take the Queen of Cups instead. But this is still relevant. Okay, and now we're going to, just for aesthetics' sake here. All right, now we're going to clarify with this deck. Ace of Wands wanted to pop out and then didn't pop out, but saying it out loud. Right. Let's see. Clarify. These are so, I mean, this is spot on here. We have the Four of Bones, which is the Four of Pentacles, with the Four of Cups coming through, and then the Artist of Bottles, which in this deck is the Queen of Cups with the Sun. There is just a melting of your heart. And to me, coming through Four of Pentacles and Four of Cups and the way I'm feeling it in this reading is like, that takes a paradigm shift. Like it really does. Because it's this level of like, I mean, this is just, the seasons are just going by, and it's like, how long am I going to stay enclosed in my heart in this way? To the point where like, there's kind of this apathy around love, around like wanting to even re-enter the world in any kind of way. And it just feels like, I don't know what it was, or like maybe this energy is coming for you and that's the loving message that you need to hear. Like, and especially with Love Brave, it's like, hello, like it is, your time is coming, like, or your time is here, and like pay attention to whatever's going on, like whoever's coming in. Like maybe this is actually someone, this Queen of Cups energy coming towards you, and it is bringing a softening, a warmth, like this level of feeling in the heart space that you have just been so disconnected from. And that is really, really beautiful, group 2. And I'm just like here for it and here for you in that experience, because it feels like you've kind of just been in this place of like fear of disappointment, maybe, or like because of experiences in the past, just feeling like it's not worth it, like love isn't worth it, or like what's the point? That's kind of the energy I'm getting from this. And I don't know what it is that's coming through to shake you out of this. Like, okay, I kind of want to draw one from my deck here to like ask that actually. Like, what is this paradigm shift about? Maybe there's like something else there. I'm really curious. Like this just, it's so massively different, the energy from here to here, which is a paradigm shift, right? Like, and it's funny that we're drawing this, and literally today is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which Uranus is about a freaking paradigm shift. So like, it could just be internal. I don't know. Like, maybe you've just had enough, right? It's like, I'm tired of feeling this way about love. Like, I'm totally capable of opening my heart. Like, I know that I am, and I want to trust that. But let me just see if anything else wants to come out through my deck here around the context of this paradigm shift. What is this paradigm shift happening for group 2? 2, collective watching group 2. Anything else to know here? Yes, there's a paradigm shift. Okay. That's funny. What is this about? Maybe you're just saying yes, period. Like, yes to life again. Yes to opening your heart, to like letting someone in. I'm still learning how to shuffle these. That's okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, this came out in the last reading. Maybe you watched the first one, Where Waters Converge. Okay, anything else? Let's try one more time. Anything else from here want to come through? Come on. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to take this swoon. Oh, a swoon and devour. Okay, yes. Feeling it. Okay. Clearly, something is reawakening within you where you are just like, I am ready. I'm ready to devour life. I'm ready to be devoured. I'm ready to devour like love. I'm just ready to be in this like new state of being in sun consciousness, like in this place where I am able to say yes to life again, to relationship, to love. This is really sweet. This is really, really sweet. And if you came from the first reading, this is really like even more sweet. Like maybe this is further confirmation just for anyone who came from there. That whether you have gone through this paradigm shift or that it's coming, and so is whatever this is that is causing you to like want to say yes again. So that is the loving message. Like there's an opportunity coming into your world to say yes to love, to say yes to opening your heart. Even just the like, like it's so beautiful, the heart here and then a heart here. It's like enclosed heart and then like completely opened heart. Like this little like mer person in the water has their sweet friend, their bird friend, and it's like they're like, there's like their little like whispering sweet messages to each other, or like going to send a message off to someone. And then this lighthouse, like being that light. I love how it's similar with the sun here. Like I just feel like there's this warmth coming for you in love, through loving relationships. It doesn't even have to be romantic, although I'm sorry about the Devour cards here, so we're gonna like whatever that means to you, but that's can be a metaphor, so for a lot of things. But I think like, and swoon, like this just, there feels like such playful, sweet, beautiful energy that wants to like catapult itself into your world right now. And I love that. I love it so much. And whoever this person is, or the people, it just seems like they're bringing their own light to ignite yours again, to like pull you back into your own like essence of your truest, most brilliant self. And that is so gorgeous. And yeah, where waters converge, I spoke about in the first reading. This is my card for like, you know, two separate things coming together and merging and creating kind of this coherence and this understanding, deep seeing of one another, deep presence with another person, or this could be self-intimacy too. Yeah, it just seems like you have, like, whether you're experiencing this in your life or not yet, like maybe you have a love like this and this is just like telling you that story again of like, wow, isn't it amazing like how I was in this place of being so cut off and feeling really apathetic to love, and then my heart was opened. Like, do not forget that story. Do not forget how deeply that experience like completely shifted your whole reality. Like love can truly do that. And and it brings us to places that sometimes we have no idea that we could even go there, right? So that's really, I just love it. I love this for you group too. Yeah, and like the lean on me, I was forgetting that this is here, that like all of this is so divinely orchestrated, and like it's just flowing. Like to have where waters converge and trine, like it is like wants to flow through your life, into your life. It's just here for you, to just waiting for you to say yes, and to just like fully devour and experience and have those moments of just like, I can't believe this is my life. Like that is the energy that I'm feeling, like especially after this time period of just being in such apathy and disappointment, and feeling a need to be closed off in the heart. Like you don't need to be that. You don't need that to be true anymore. Just saying. Or whether you do, like a new time is coming, like it is approaching, and you can prepare yourself for that, right, by like practicing heart opening activities, right, and like go enjoy some beautiful flowers and such like that. Like let things kind of penetrate you in that way that it makes your heart feel like that warmth again. Okay, I'm gonna draw one more oracle here for a final message for group 2. Final message. Let's look at pile 2. Oh. Okay, we have the golden children coming out. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. This card always reminds me of the Sun card, and I just love that that's coming through as part of that. It makes me feel like whatever connections that you're about to like is going to like put you on this path of saying yes again, of like coming back into this warmth, of coming back to a place where you can like feel the sun on your skin again, and just feel like I am here in this reality. Like I'm here, I'm having this physical experience, and I'm actually enjoying myself, which I know can be a rare event, especially when we're in such like closed off heart spaces for such long periods of time. Like this, to me, these two cards really signal like y'all have been through it. You have been like put in this situation or moved to want to close down for quite a while. So I just like am so here for this experience of whatever it is that is like causing you to completely flip in this like wildly other direction, where your heart is just like, it's like being reborn. That's what I just heard. Like you're reconnecting through whatever this love is to your inner child. Like it could also signal like whether you have, if you already have children in your life, that like this could also signify a reconnecting with them, which is really beautiful, like in a way that's opening both of your hearts, or like reminding you each of like how beautiful and loved that each of you are. So this could kind of be like a paradigm shift of like a romantic situation, like I was gonna say rekindling, like, because this anything, like, or a new person, whatever. you know your context. That's kind of weird to like get into what that could be, but just in general, and like whatever that is, then that in impacting the way that you interact with your children or even with your friends or whatever, to the point that it's like it's a ripple effect. The way that love becomes this ripple effect in our lives is like undeniable, because each relationship is in turn like affecting the all of the others that we're in. So this just feels like yeah, like such a beautiful reconnecting with parts of yourself that you lost, or like you felt like you had to close down because it didn't feel like you were allowed, like love was actually meant for you. And my heart just really goes out to you, because I just want to say, like, the softening that's about to come forward, or that like you're starting to experience or you have experienced, like it is real, and there is so much more for you in this realm, and you also have to want it. Like you have to learn to accept it and receive it, and that's not easy either, because it means going to the places where you didn't feel that, and really like holding that part of you that was in so much pain because you didn't, you know, receive, or you weren't able to fully like get the love that you needed maybe in that moment. This just feels like so much inner child healing that's possible through whatever's going on here. And I love that. I love that so much. Go stand in the sun where you belong. That's what I just heard. Like, yeah, like let yourself melt into whatever this is. Like there's just a lot of goodness heading your way. A love of, on all levels and in all areas of life, that can really like just deeply healing and beautiful. Yeah. Okay, group 2. I'm gonna end it there. This was really lovely. Thank you for watching and hanging out with me today. Thank you to Venus and Mercury for coming through with your beautiful messages. If you liked this reading, I would love for you to subscribe, so that you can make sure to get my readings, and just like it really helps me out. I'm like a very small channel right now, and I would love for more people to get these messages, to be able to have access to the messages. So with that, I thank you so much again, and I hope to see you in another reading. Bye, y'all. Hello, group 3. Y'all chose this little shell here. I'm gonna put that over there for you. And this stack of cards, which is from my new little oracle deck that I just made. And today we're looking at messages from Mercury and Venus, who just had their conjunction in the sky yesterday. Just whatever heartfelt messages that you need to hear most right now. And these are kind of meant to give a little bit of context, and then I'm going to pull some tarot and an oracle at the end as well. And we'll see what happens. I'm keeping these really open. Both of the readings have been done a little bit differently so far in the other piles, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have oaths, call the rocks, ox auxiliary, time warp, and square. Oh, it just got kind of dark. Okay, that candle is so bright. It's been like super bright throughout this whole reading. Okay, so This square, that's just meant to be the aspect in astrology of a square between two planets. So square energy can be difficult, challenging, it's conflict, it's like things kind of coming out of nowhere. Like if you think of someone moving along a straight course and like the 90-degree angle, like someone just coming in and like bam, like you didn't even see them coming, right? So it is a very like, it can be disruptive, but also at the same time, like the squares in our chart are like often the things that propel us forward and really give us mastery too, because they are like these points of movement. It's like forcing us into situations. Like you'll know if it's square, right? Like you'll be aware, versus if you are having like two planets in a trine to each other, it's more like you can pay attention to that energy if you want to, but you wouldn't necessarily have to. Whereas a square, it's like these are the emergency kind of situations, like I have to like go put out that fire, right? And with oaths, this card I wrote as like those really deep-seated, whether it's like family beliefs or like ingrained cultural conditionings, these things that feel like this oath we've taken and we like can never go away from it, or if we did, we'd become a completely different person, or like it's really like those things that feel ingrained in us, but maybe we don't want that anymore. There's a sense of like needing to reclaim a sense of what is what we actually do want with this card, like what are, because it's related to values also for me, like this just like kind of covers a range of different contexts. Like it could also be traditions held, or yeah, like things passed down. It's just like very solid belief systems or ways of doing things that were kind of put upon you, whether you were old enough to even consent to that or not. So that's what this is about. I think it's funny that the time warp card is coming out. That makes sense. We're like in a Mercury retrograde period. If you're watching this when I'm putting this out, if not, that energy is just kind of present here in the reading in general. Ox is just my like music card, so music might be playing some piece of this, or like maybe there's some way that like you've been kind of triggered into some past memories or like experiences or something through like different songs popping up on your radar again that you haven't heard in a long time. And Call the Rocks is my like reference to Ludo from the Labyrinth, and this idea of calling on your supports outside of you, whether in the natural world or community, that can offer a sense of stability, that can help you understand what the next steps are and to like move into a direction where you're in a place of more stability. So it seems like there's like something has kind of caught you off guard. Like this is just a context for the reading. So there may just have been kind of this, whether there's an event that has happened or just like a memory coming back to the surface that is bringing you into kind of this feeling of a sense of being returned to the past, having to look again maybe at these things that you took on, these oaths that you may have made but are no longer like fit who you are now, and needing to really remember and call in your community and call in like return to your own tools and just the things you know really help bring you back to a place of stability at this time. So that is what I'm laying out here, and now I'm going to draw some cards as just to answer what the heartfelt messages around this are that you need to hear right now. So for the collective watching pile 3, what heartfelt messages do they need to hear most at this time? And feel free to to fast forward if you enjoy the shuffling on screen. I'm gonna pull from a couple of this deck and then one other deck. What are the heartfelt messages from Venus and Mercury for the collective watching pile 3? I'll take those. One fell on the floor, so I'm not. Clarify this. Let's clarify these cards. Heartfelt messages. So the Apprentice in this deck is the Knight energy. So this would be the Knight of Cups, and then we have the Knight of Swords. And then, of course, Judgment and the Mother of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords coming through. So I'm getting this sense that, like, whether you're reflecting on past versions of yourself when you were maybe embodying more of this Knight energy, just like fierce risk taker, not really considering the implications of your actions, but just like so ready to experience life in these ways. Like this person is literally jumping off the diving board backwards, which I love, especially for a card that's like the water card. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in this like emotional realm, but like I'm here for it. Like I'm just gonna go for it. But for Judgment to be right under it, it's like, oh my gosh, like so much, whether you're like experiencing a fear or a feeling of judgment of who you were in the past, or like there's some like people in your environment who maybe like created a lot of judgment that then kind of like made this path a little bit more difficult for you, or if whether you're experiencing that now, it just feels like whatever this was, and like this being like really speaking your voice, like letting whatever is passionate in you, whatever you needed to kind of come from the heart, because it feels like whenever this was, or if it's now, like you are experiencing this moment of just like so much impulse to express yourself from the heart, and that's so beautiful. And maybe you are being judged for that. Like that could be really real. And I think with this Mother of Swords coming through, I'm getting a couple messages from it. Like one of them is like this owl is like staring, right? It is like staring you in the face, like it's watching, right? Like you're being watched is kind of how it feels, which is uncomfortable, right? Like, because it does feel in this sense of judgment. And yet there's this other thing, there's this other message coming through, which is you're becoming this. Like, you're becoming this kind of like wise, authoritative, eloquent, graceful, intelligent person, right? Who like knows there is so much about integrity, this card. And I think like you going through this, like being in the energy of the night and like expressing yourself from the heart is part of what's awakening you through this judgment card into that energy. And that's really beautiful, and like that's part of this process, and it might be uncomfortable. Like we have the square here, and like you might be going up against whatever traditions, oaths, the things that you felt would always be, right? Like that you, or like other people expected you to always be, and you're like, I'm gonna go jump off of this diving board backwards instead, like, see you. And like here, you're kind of like in this messy place of whether revisiting those things and kind of questioning yourself of like the choices that you made there. I think like this reading is absolutely just saying like to offer yourself some compassion in whatever it was that is making you kind of question yourself there, or like have it cast any judgment upon yourself, because getting out of situations where everyone wants you to do something in a certain way, especially when it's related to speaking your heart, and like this entire reading is like the heartfelt messages, and like you are the heartfelt messenger. Like that's what this feels like. And for, yeah, like I feel like this experience is shaping you, or has shaped you into who you're continuing to become, which is this very like trustworthy, I just heard trustworthy figure, where like you can be, like for it to be the Queen of Swords versus like the King can be a little bit more cold. I think the Queen of Swords can sometimes be a cold figure, but it feels, in this sense and in this context, it feels like becoming that figure of like holding such knowledge and wisdom from what you've learned from these experiences, but in a way where like you're able to cast your gaze like in a loving way upon others who are younger than you, maybe, who like would be going through a similar experience. Like you're becoming this person who's actually able to speak to be in dialogue with others where you're coming from the heart, but it's not inflamed. Like it's not so passionate that it's inflamed anymore. It's like coming from the depth of wisdom that you understand how to hold multiple perspectives at the same time. Like you know how to enter that paradox now, and you're like unafraid of it because you've had to go through the judgment in that. And for this to be a loving message to come through, like I just feel like there's this acknowledge, like a deep acknowledgement and appreciation that wants to pour out towards you for going on this journey and for being that person who is willing to speak from the heart in this way, because it's so important. Just being in your own authenticity, especially when it's come from this place where you've had to like so many people telling you to not do that. And maybe this situation has required of you to call on community or to find new community. This could be like even just a promise that there are people who want to hold you up, who see your integrity and are either like feeling like you're the one laying those stones for them and how beautiful, or that they want to do that for you, or like it's a mutual thing. And I love that. I really felt called, I hadn't used this deck at all during the reading, but I felt called to pull a card from here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that too. Just any other message here about this energy. energy and the loving, heartfelt messages for pile 3. What else wants to come through here? Watching pile 3. Okay, this spell on the floor, we have perception and protection. With these 2 cards, it's like, I feel like this is protection from other people's perceptions of you. And that's the living message coming through. Like, you are protected from that, and actually becoming someone who has this level of really like clarity in their own wisdom, which really only comes through going through these time periods of being the knight, of taking those big risks, of finding out who you actually are, what you actually desire, what you actually value, all of those things. Like, that becomes our protection essentially, because it's understanding more of who we are. And I think this is also saying, like, to call on love, you know, when you're feeling those judging eyes, turn towards the people who hold the most love for you, because it's truly there, and it is there to protect you. Even if those are people who've passed on, or, you know, animals, guides, whatever it may be, that you feel that deeply loving protection, sense of protection, like, let yourself be held by that, and that is going to protect you. And like, some people's, like, people can have their own opinions, their own views on us, and it doesn't mean we have to let it all the way in, you know? It also doesn't mean we even have to consider it. It's like, does this person actually invest in who I am, or want to invest in who I am as a human being, right? Like, especially if you're outspoken in any way, like, if you're feeling this kind of judgment from the outside, or yeah, just people like not hearing you out or coming at you, I think it's really important to ask, like, is this person actually invested in me? Like, or are they just here for a fight, right? Because sometimes it's not worth it. And we just have to, like, return to love, and return to the fact that we're all at different places in this journey, and we don't have to agree with each other, and we also don't have to, like, perpetuate I don't know, perpetuate these, like, destabilizing types of conflicts. Like, there's a time and a place to have conversations like that, and often it is not on the internet. So I'm just saying, you know, like, also be wary of that. Like, is it in your most loving interest to, like, engage in like a difficult conversation in the context of, like, a text thread, or in person when you're, like, deeply able to see one another, right? Like, that's calling on the rocks. That is security. Like, that is the stepping stones to forming relationships and forming bonds, and, like, coming together as human beings in ways that we are, like, deeply seeing one another, and moving into places where we can have a sense of grace for one another in whatever we're struggling with together to see eye to eye on. So I don't know if that was resonating, but I guess that wanted to come through. I think this perception card too is just, like, giving me the message of, like, you're allowed to change your mind. Like, you really are. At any point in time, you can change how you see something, and the way that you actually perceive things has so much to do also with your sense of being able to protect yourself. and allowing yourself to continue having this beautiful open mind, and this flexible mind. I love, like, I feel like the Mother of Swords has a flexible mind. Like, there's just this great capacity to be able to hold so many differing views and come at it in a way where there is grace and compassion involved. And so that is another form of divine protection. Being able to allow how you see things, what you, the information, like allowing it in your life, having that discernment to know when you want to take something on or change something about how you've thought about it in the past, versus when it's still, you still have your own truth about it that is unwavering. Because both of those things, and knowing when that's true or not, is divine protection in your life. Yeah. And okay, I'm gonna pull one last card. I'm glad I got those though, because that felt needed. And then we're gonna just do this. I love this deck, so we're gonna get one more message to come through for pile 3. Okay. What final message, loving message does group 3 need this time? Okay, 2 pop out here. We've got loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in, along with this big picture thinking. You really are the big picture thinker. And I feel like you go places that other people aren't willing to go. And that has caused, like, perhaps a lot of breaks, relational breaks, or just difficulty and feeling kind of restricted in some way. And I think this card is just like, yes, like, this is so much a part of who you are, and that it is such a benefit to the collective, and like, thank you, you know, like, and this, like, yeah, the coping mechanisms, I mean, I'm just looking at this person falling, like, it seems, I don't know if you felt like a need to turn towards release points that help you, like, whether it's substances, or even like the internet becoming an addiction. Like, that's definitely a thing. Like, this card is really just saying, like, that divine support and divine protection is available to you at any moment if you just allow it to come in. And, like, not even that it's like available to you, but it's literally present in every single moment. And this is just a reminder, like, you don't have to go down, you know, those routes where you're just needing to escape from whatever the difficult situation is, like, through behaviors that cause you more turmoil in the future, like for your future self. So I think, like, this isn't to cast any more judgment on you for this card to come through, but it's more like, we're here. Like, this is every single moment we're offering protection. And, like, not even just through the fact that that exists, but, like, again, this big picture thinking, like with the Queen of Swords, that you are creating your own protection, like, through being such a visionary when it comes to your mind and just your ideas, and your very heart-centered ideas, which is its own sense of vulnerability too, to have such oh, I just thought how beautiful, like, too, like, heart-centered ideas, and it's a Venus Mercury reading. Like that's the two. Maybe you have these two conjunct in your chart. When there's a conjunction between Venus and Mercury, it's like there's no separation between, like, you have a love of intellect, like a passion towards words and towards like making meaning through your mind, and that brings you great and deep love. So maybe that's something that you really resonate with, and this is just like saying like, yes, this is true, and like we're here for you in this journey, and like you are becoming this wise. I just heard a healer. I think that can be like, I think the Queen of Swords can be a healer, because words are healing. They can be so healing, especially with Venus Mercury, like healing words. And if you didn't start off in that way, on that path in your life, where like maybe words were not very healing around you, or like your perspective was very much stuck in this place of judgment of self and of others, and like you are entering new phases of your life, like you're entering like because you've always had this capacity of such a wide range of being able to think and perceive of the world. And that's so beautiful. And there's just like a lot of appreciation that wants to come through around that, and affirmation that like, yeah, that's who you are, you know? And I think you're really learning how to like fly in some way, like out of your own, like the tricks that your mind plays on you when it comes to like how you're being perceived and how you're perceiving the world. Like you're becoming someone who like really can go places in the mind that other people don't, and that's so important. That's so important for all of us. And you're like completely supported through that. Like the divine has your back. And I think I just heard future generations have your back. Like that really feels, that makes me want to cry. Like, because whatever you're creating right now, and like whatever words of love you are speaking into the world, it is like reverberating through time. And so it is like this greater reflection of those generations being like, yes, like please, like we love you, like we so deeply love you, and what you're bringing forward at this time, like please don't stop. And like we love where you came from, and we love where you're going and what you're offering here for all of us. Like it's meaningful and it's important. Yeah. Okay, I think I needed to get to that point, because that felt significant there. Okay, how beautiful. Wow, I'm glad that you exist, pile 3. And I'm sending you a lot of love and care, and I hope that this reading actually felt like a little bit of a protection spell upon you if you needed that at this time. One of loving, deep, and expansive protection. And thank you to Venus and Mercury for showing up to help me deliver these messages today. And if you liked this, I would love for you to subscribe if you are curious to see more. I'm posting on every Sunday. And yeah, it's a wonderful way to share your energy with me, and it helps my channel to grow. I'm just like a tiny little channel right now, so I would love that. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you in another reading. Much love.